Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you today, Amber. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited just to chat and catch up. I know life has been crazy lately, and we haven't gotten to see each other much. So thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit today about just the stage of life that we're in. So empty nesting. I know, we've been doing that for about a year now, but it's like brand new for you.
Very fresh.
Yeah. Like maybe not even a month.
It's been about a month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk to you just a little bit about how that's going, and then kind of how that's maybe changing your perspective on just like where you want to live and where you guys want to do life as empty nesters. But how are you guys? How has it been?
It's been good so far. I mean, like you said, it's been a hot minute. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Austin is my second born. So we just dropped him off at OU, as you know. And then my daughter Maggie just started her senior year at OSU. So
hard to believe.
It's so hard to believe. And I feel like if anything, it's just like such a testament to how fast time goes, because I feel like we just dropped Maggie yesterday, you know, and same with you, with so Abigail now being out into the real world.
Yeah. And now she's a grown working girl.
Completely different life stage for sure.
Hard to believe. Yeah.
So it's been, so far so good. I feel like we're very fresh and we've stayed very busy. The house feels different without our kids, of course. And it's definitely different not having to kind of plan around their academic schedules, their sports schedules, their social life,
what they want for dinner.
What they want for dinner.
Like, we can just think about what we want for dinner.
Exactly.
Like, that's a concept.
I know. I was telling Justin last night that it's kind of, we had 2 nights in a row of eating at home, just the two of us, which was very different.
Right.
I was like, if our kids are going to be spending money, then we need to save and
somebody has to eat at home.
Exactly.
So true.
So, I'm lucky to be married to a guy that likes to cook.
I was going to say, he is a good cook. We're both married to good cooks.
Yes. Thank goodness.
When Kendall left, and really when Abigail left too, mealtime was the hardest for me. Like just sitting down, because it was typical for us to all sit down and have dinner together every night. And so sitting down with that empty chair is like, it's tough. I mean, it takes some getting used to.
Definitely. And I think also kind of the effort that goes into cooking for just 2 people.
For 2 people.
Is a little different too.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember this, but right after Abigail left for college, we had dinner. The 4 of us had dinner. And I was probably crying in the car on the way to dinner because I was upset. And Justin said to me that night at dinner, he said, "You act like someone died." And I was like, well, I feel like someone died. Like, it's just a hard transition. It's hard to have that person that you've raised since the minute they were born to not be there anymore.
Well, I actually feel like you helped me a lot through kind of this stage and preparing for it, having gone through it a year before me. And I'll remember always, I've told several people this, that like while we are empty nesting, I mean, you were the one that said to me, it's not really truly empty nesting, because we're still so like emotionally invested in what they're doing and how they're doing and, what's going on with their schedule. And
we're involved. Yeah.
Very involved.
We're blessed to be included. Honestly.
Yes.
I feel like we're blessed that they continue to involve us, but that's true. Yeah.
And football season, I mean, for you with cheer and us going to the tailgates, it's really kind of allowed us to re-experience like college life.
I know, right? The best parts of college.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
We get to tailgate, but we don't have to go to class.
Yes.
I love it.
That is the best part, for sure.
What do you think is different about just like how you live in the house? Like, I know, we downsized almost immediately, really right before Kendall left.
You did.
Yeah. That was maybe in retrospect a little too soon. But how do you feel about, I feel like you just live in a house differently when you have, a whole side of the house that isn't getting used anymore. It's like, the housekeeper comes and you're like, oh, nobody's touched that since the last time you were here.
It's definitely a nice break for the housekeeper. I'll say that for sure. I mean, for us, we've lived in that house for 21 years. I mean, we had Maggie's first birthday there. So we have lived a lot of life in that home. It's 2,900 square feet. So it's not like a huge house where we have like cavernous areas that we're not using at all, but definitely, kids' rooms, we don't go in as much because we don't have a need to. And
well, and you have a really nice large lot the land that you're on is nice and you have a lot of space. Like,
yes.
You'll still have a lot of space to spread out.
We were fortunate to move out to Prosper 21 years ago, and it was a very different town then. And so we're on an acre, which is...
Y'all are like OG Prosper people. I mean, really, like you have seen all the growth.
Definitely.
What year did you guys move? You moved from Plano in what year?
2004.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was
20 years.
Yes, 20 years. It's been 20 years.
It's changed so
much. And I think when we first moved out there, it was a small town. I think it was like 2A or 3A, not very many. I think there was one, maybe two elementary schools at the time.
Yeah.
One high school.
Yeah. Because I think when we moved, they had just opened the third elementary, which... For anyone that doesn't know, we were neighbors. We lived across the street from each other for almost 12 years.
Yes.
A long time. We kind of raised, I know. We definitely like raised our kids together. It's a really sweet season, but you guys have seen Prosper just really transform into what it is today. And I think if I'm being honest, it's good and bad. It's like, I love the growth. I love some of the things that come with that. But then there's also the pain points to, just the
growth, right?
The growing pains.
I mean, it's nice having more restaurant options to choose from.
So nice.
A lot more conveniences, like very close by,
yes. Whole Foods coming soon.
Whole Foods coming
I'm very excited about that.
Definitely. And just the restaurant options, especially for empty nesters, because, we go out to eat probably more now than we did. More than we should.
Yep.
And so just knowing that there's a lot more options up there is nice. I definitely feel like it's grown significantly. A lot more traffic than when we first moved out there, for sure.
Yes.
And the schools are a lot bigger than they were. Several football teams to root for now versus just one.
Yes, versus just Prosper High. I know. That's one of the changes I've had. Like, it's been hard to adjust to not just having the Prosper Eagles.
Yes, definitely.
Big change. So I know we've been talking, kind of kicking the idea around of leaving that area and going into Uptown. Just talk to me a little bit about kind of what the heart behind that is and, just like what the motive is to go and do something different. I mean, downsizing.
Right.
So just not having the property and the swimming pool and like the maintenance that's there on the acre. But talk to me about that.
Well, I mean, who knows what the future holds, right? But I think because we're fresh into this new stage, but knowing that our oldest Maggie is going to be graduating in a year and likely relocating back to Dallas, I think
Which Abigail's very excited about.
I know. Yes, I know. So assuming there's not an opening in Abigail's apartment, Maggie hopes to live in that area. And so we've kind of just talked about like, what would that maybe look like for us to get a place there? So that she could potentially, move in with us and save a little bit of money when she first graduates from
post-grad,
because that's a huge transition for them as well. And then obviously the upside of just being closer to kind of where the action is. There's a lot more culturally to do down there, a lot more restaurants, not as many chains. So
true. Yeah, a lot more just from an entertainment perspective and the walkability. That's something that we definitely do not have where we live. So that would be nice in this season for sure. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about just your business. And I know, you are a businesswoman that I look up to. You are the way that you run your business and the things that you're able to achieve is outstanding. It's exceptional. And so I want you to just give us maybe some pointers on how you manage that and still tend to make time for self-care. Because I feel like you're really good about making sure that, you do all the things like, you're whatever, like you're taking care of your skin, you're working out, you're making an effort to, eat well. Like, I just feel like you do a really good job of self-care. And I would love for you to just talk a little bit about how you balance that because it's hard, I mean, we know like we work a lot. And and it's something that we love. It's not a bad thing, but you do have to really work at the balance and being intentional. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I've always loved that our relationship has been able to also shift gears into that professional realm too, because I also deeply admire you and all that you've done for your business and for your brand. And
Thank you.
You're somebody that I always kind of bounce ideas off of. So I'm so grateful for that part of our relationship for sure. I don't feel like I'm that great at self-care, so I'm glad I'm fooling somebody.
You are. You're so good at it.
But I do think you have to be intentional, right? For me, I think I'm very driven by being productive in all areas. I'm an Enneagram 3, and that's something that I often work on trying to change about myself. But I think for me, if I can kind of shift my perspective to think of exercise or self-care as almost benefiting other areas of my life as well. So as example, if I take a walk in the morning with my dog, that's something that helps my dog. It helps me. And maybe I'm listening to a podcast that's something
I'm
about
certain
business.
you're listening to a podcast. I'm certain that you are.
So I think that's helped me to kind of justify like spending time doing something that's like movement or exercise. Because I do feel like for me, it definitely, I see that in like my energy level and just my overall outlook on tackling the day,
Yeah.
and getting
It helps
everything
your
in.
mindset because you're feeding your mind something great and you're getting your exercise.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. Okay. So just talk to me a little bit while we're on the subject about what it is that you do and like just tell us a little bit about Boundless.
Oh, my business. So I have a promotional marketing business. So we primarily sell promotional merchandise. So anything with a company name or logo. And we also do corporate gifts. So that's kind of, I've been doing it since 2001.
A long time.
Really long time.
I know.
And I'm very fortunate. I work with an amazing group of people, and they're really kind of the heartbeat that allows me to have the flexibility in my life while also running the business because I've got just the best behind me. So,
Well, I think you guys are really exceptional in your space because you come up with like the neatest ideas. Like I feel like you're forever like reinventing what seems like a business that is kind of hard to reinvent, but I feel like you're always coming up with like fresh ideas and new on-site experiences or whatever it is. Like I just feel like you guys really excel at that.
thank you.
Yeah. And so that's been, just as your friend, that for sure has been fun to watch.
Well, and you've been a fun client to have.
Hey, I love Boundless. Yes, I love my Boundless swag. That's for sure.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah. I know when the kids left, it's only been a few weeks, you did some major purging and reorganizing. So like everywhere, like whole house.
Well, I mean, we've been in the same house for 21 years. So there's a lot that has collected over time for sure. And so Justin and I just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary.
Yes.
In June. Thank you. And so we wanted to wait until we had both the kids in school before we kind of went on a trip to celebrate. So we ended up going to Vermont, which was really beautiful. I'd never been to that part of the country. And,
Yeah, I haven't either.
oh, it was beautiful. It was charming and cool weather and all the things. So I had a great time. And while I was there, I decided to have our home reorganized, like literally every room of the house, because I knew that I need help.
Such a gift to yourself.
Such a gift.
I mean,
My husband wasn't super excited about it, but
that is a dream.
Oh, and now I feel like it's just basically the mission was when I used Jamie with Incredibly Organized, who I think you've met before.
Yes, she does a great job.
She does a great job. And she came to the house and I was like, listen, I want to only have what I would move if we were to make a move to Dallas, because we've kind of been talking about like what that might look like in future state. And so I said, I'm going to need some help with like put things that are questionable for me to kind of take a look at, because I wasn't going to be there. I knew it was probably more productive for me to be out of the house for them to do that. So they came in, I think it was 3 full days of organizers, but they did literally every room, every drawer, every closet.
That is so fantastic.
Unbelievable. So it was really a gift to myself.
Have you been able to like, I'm sure you feel so much more efficient just with everything
Just
having
lighter,
a place.
Feeling like you open a drawer and you're like,
because
oh.
stuff is heavy. Like
Yes.
stuff is just, it gets in the way.
There's something to that, like holding on to things that like, why are we holding on to this?
We don't need this.
We don't
Yeah.
need this. So I think for us, she did take everything and put it in Austin's room to go through.
Sorry, Austin.
So we didn't open that door for, a good 7 days after we got home, but we've tackled it.
I don't want to see that.
No, we've tackled it slowly but surely together. So it's been really nice to kind of just get rid of the stuff that we know we don't need and we would not move. So that's definitely been, I highly recommend.
Yeah, I love it. So we're on the brink of, I feel like we're potentially considering a move
Tiffany.
into Uptown, and just out of Prosper, or, downsizing and kind of moving away from the acre and all the things. So we've kicked off that search, and, we've probably been at that, I don't know, a little while now. How has that been different than you thought it would be?
I mean, it's just such a transition from being, out in the burbs raising a family to looking at potentially moving into the city again. I mean, Justin and I actually, right out of graduating from college at Texas Tech, we moved to Allen, Texas. So we never did the whole.
You never did the
downtown.
city thing.
We never did it.
Yes.
So, don't really know what to expect, but I can definitely tell you, like, from a home search perspective, it's obviously very different than being out in a neighborhood with, an acre and a pool and, a 3-car garage.
Exactly.
All the things that come with that.
With all the space.
So I think if anything, like, the search has shown me that it's necessary to purge, because there's no reason to move something that you don't want to have in your life.
And there's just not room for it.
And there's not
quite
room
frankly.
for it.
Yeah.
There's not room for it. I think our biggest, contention between Justin and I is the number of bedrooms that we truly need, because he wants to have space for the kids to come home and live for the rest of their lives, which would be wonderful. I would love that too, but I'm just
that's probably not going to happen.
Is that realistic?
Yeah.
So just kind of trying to determine what we truly do need from not only a space perspective, but what we need to bring with us down there. So
but also something that still feels like home to you.
Yes.
I think that's the part that makes it hard to balance, is like, you want to downsize, but also you still want to feel like it's your home.
That, and we have a little golden doodle, so we need a
Yes,
yard
little
for
Goldie.
Goldie, our favorite child. And being able to walk places too. It's just kind of different. It's a lot more congested in the city. You're obviously closer to, nightlife and restaurants.
Pros and cons.
But that's definitely a shift from where we're at now, for sure.
I think it's fun to kind of think about starting fresh. Like you said, you guys have been there in your home for 20 years now?
Yeah, 20 years.
So getting to kind of start over a little bit and maybe do, a different style, or just whatever, fresh furniture, new decor. I think that is also just something fun, in this season, kind of something, just a new leaf.
Definitely.
I was thinking about, Round Top is coming up in another month or so.
October.
Yes. Which is one of our favorite places to go.
Love it.
I know. Being from, I think both of us being Texas girls, it really just feels like you're in small town Texas, but with all the things that you love.
All the things.
Yeah. So that would be fun. I'm that would be fun to do kind of a round top trip, and
it's always fun to do Round Top when you're looking for something.
Find some art. Yeah. Home decor. I know we both ended up buying the same piece of art.
We did.
Yeah. Was that year before last? We both ended up buying the same piece of art from Round Top. So funny.
Blair Kaufman.
Yes. Such a talented Dallas artist.
I know. And that's what I love so much about Round Top, because you feel like you're able to support, artisans and makers. I mean, there's definitely brands there as well, but you find those little treasures that have a story and have meaning that you're able to bring into your home. And I love that.
And I love all the European treasures too, just super fun, unique stuff. Yeah, definitely one of our happy places.
Definitely one of my happy places.
So you touched a little bit on Maggie possibly moving to Dallas post-grad. Abigail is super excited about the thought of having her there. I'm it's so hard to believe that they're old enough to
be on their own.
I know. It's shocking. I'm and what does that say about how old we are? I don't want to know.
We're in denial about that part.
We are in denial. But just as, I think I speak for both of us when I say as business owners and women in business, we hope that our children can also be entrepreneurs and kind of, carve their own path.
Right.
I think it's the world they live in is hard,
It is. And it's so different now, I feel like, than when we graduated from college and, had that job that you were in an office all day, every day, surrounded by people that were older than you that you could learn from. I think it's a different shift for them. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't kind of nervous about what that would look like for Maggie. I do think our kids have been raised in a home with entrepreneurs. I mean, we've been fortunate to travel a lot together, but obviously when we travel, we always work.
We're always working.
We're always on.
We're always working. It's true. It's why we travel so well together, though.
I know. I'm so grateful for that too. But
some people don't understand, and it can come across as rude. So I am grateful that we can get to travel together and understand that that's just the world we live in.
Yeah. And we're fortunate to have the flexibility. But with that, you're as a business owner, you're always on. You're never always on. Never have vacation, right? Like true vacation. So
always on.
I'm hopeful that seeing that will encourage them to also kind of take risks and, business and follow their dreams and want to do things, pursue their own passion in business. Not be
scared. To take the leaps. We both certainly have at one point or another in our career. I think that just, having confidence.
Definitely having confidence and like believing in themselves and, being willing to have those conversations and go for the jobs that they want, even if it feels like a stretch for them. Right.
Yeah. Just knowing who they are. And I love that. I know when my girls were little, when they were like preschool, we used to always do this thing in the morning. It was called the I ams. And so we had this list of like 8 things. And it was like, whatever, like I am more than a conqueror. I am blessed coming in, blessed going out. And I was just thinking the other day, I wish we still did that every day.
I know.
I wish that they thought that every morning.
They probably do.
I hope they do. Okay, well, to wrap today, if you're up for it, I have some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Some fun stuff to talk about. Okay, so what is your favorite? Well, first of all, let me preface this by saying you are a product junkie.
I'm a product junkie.
I mean, you have the product.
It's out there. I've tried it.
You've tried it. I know.
Yes.
If I ever find something that I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is good, I'm like, I can text Amber because she's already tried it.
Yes.
Okay, but seriously, what is your favorite product that you're currently loving in your home?
In my home. I would say, have you heard of that Home Court brand that Courtney Cox came out with?
Yes.
I got that for Abigail.
For Abigail,
you housewarming
did.
gift.
It smells amazing.
It smells amazing. So I'm loving her like countertop spray, hand wash, lotion. I just think it's all very,
all of it.
Yes, it's beautifully, aesthetic wise. It looks really pretty.
Yeah,
it's but it really, also smells great.
I love the like black packaging and very like sleek and okay, awesome. That's a good one. That's a good recommendation. Okay, what is your favorite home appliance that you can't live without?
I would say probably my electric tea kettle. So
okay.
I know that's kind of
I didn't
random,
expect that. Yeah, I didn't
random,
expect that.
But I am trying to drink more tea, incorporate that more into my kind of daily routine from either morning, midday, or even kind of the wind down at the end of the day, getting more ritualistic around that.
Yep.
And so the electric tea kettle, you just pop it on and it makes it very easy to like heat up the water quickly and have my tea. So it's probably my favorite right now.
I feel like I need that in my life.
I think you do.
All right. I'll order that on Amazon later. Okay. What is because you're in the promotional space, what is your favorite like brand swag to give?
Oh gosh.
I know, because you see a lot of product.
We see a lot of product. And it's interesting being in that space because every client is different and their needs are different. I mean, we've got everybody from, someone that's attending a trade show that just needs something to hand out at a booth to executives that want kind of a personal touch with their closing gifts or whatever the case may be. So for me, I think if you can give something that kind of affects their lifestyle or something that they can use in their everyday life, something as simple as drinkware. I mean, obviously, we all use it. We all have cabinets full of it. But I feel like finding that right
I love
piece.
It. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's a must-have.
So I think if you can give something, obviously, that someone's going to be able to use in their day-to-day life, and if you're able to tie that somehow with a message, that's the ultimate goal.
True. Yes, I know. I do love all the drinkware that I have. I'm like, I have the one, I can't remember what the brand is, but I have the one like coffee mug, the Traveler, that I'm just like obsessed
the Elemental.
with. Yes, Elemental.
It's
yes.
definitely my favorite. favorite.
Love that.
Minority-owned business as well, small business. So finding those kind of brands and makers and manufacturers that we can also kind of incorporate into the gifting for our clients. Exactly. And support is great.
Okay, because you're always listening to at least one and usually more than one, what's your favorite podcast right now?
Right this minute, my favorite podcast is Left, Right, Center, which is a political podcast.
Okay.
But I love it because it brings somebody in with a right-wing perspective, a left-wing perspective, and then the middle, because I feel like we all need more of like all sides in life. So that's probably one I'm listening to the most right now.
And very timely.
Very timely.
I'm like, wow, probably everyone could use a little bit of that.
It's just good because you're listening to others' perspectives, and I think we all need more of that, you know?
I love that. Favorite place you've ever vacationed?
That is a really tough one.
I know.
And I'm lucky because I get to travel with you a lot. I think my favorite vacation was probably our trip to the BVI's.
Virgin Islands. Yeah. With the kids.
With the kids.
Yeah.
Unbeatable. Such great memories and
totally
being able to experience
so
that with our
fun.
kids.
Yeah.
And just beautiful. So that's probably my favorite trip of all time.
I remember when we were leaving that day, like when it was time to go home, and we were like pulling into the port, and Justin and I were sitting on the front of the boat, and I was like, I could stay.
Not ready
like,
for it
I'm
to
not
end.
ready to get off.
No.
Which says a lot. If you can vacation with another family for a whole week and you don't you're
tiny
not ready
boat.
for a little bit of space. Yes, on a boat.
On a boat.
Yeah, I remember just thinking like, oh, that I could stay here for for a long time. That was super magical. Okay, so last question. What is your favorite room in your home?
My bathroom is my favorite room in my home.
You do have a beautiful bathroom.
Thank you. Thank you. That says a lot coming from you too. But I feel like that's kind of my sanctuary for sure. I'm a bath girl, and so I spend a lot of time in my bathroom.
Yeah, you are a bath girl, and you've got all your products there. I love it. Aw. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Of course.
This was super special. I really appreciate I know you're busy, so thank you for taking the time. I'm grateful for you, and this was a lot of fun.
Well, I love supporting you. I think you're the best at what you do, and I'm just honored to have you as a friend too.
Oh,
so thanks for having me.